morning, I'm Amit Thakral and let's begin with the top stories of this hour. Home Minister Thapa makes statement breaching diplomatic norms. Claims Indian Prime Minister to visit Kantipur without official announcement from Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Chances of disputes between lawmakers and local government arise. Local representatives say developing local levels not the duty of lawmakers. As many as 7 million people around the world annually killed by pollution, according to World Health Organization. People in African and Asian nations mostly affected. And Real Madrid get better off Bayern Munich by 4-3 in aggregate to make it to the final of Champions League. AS Roma taking on Liverpool tonight. Let's begin with the national political updates. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is arriving for his state visit to Nepal for the third time as a Prime Minister on the 12th of May. However, without any official decision of the Ministry for Foreign Affairs, Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa has made public a schedule of Indian Premier's visit to Kantipur directly from India's Patna. A minister making remarks on such a high-level visit without government's official decision cannot be taken lightly in terms of diplomatic norms. Home Minister Thapa made public a statement on Tuesday stating that Indian Prime Minister Modi would directly come to Janakpur's Janaki Temple from Patna without referring to any statement from the Foreign Ministry. He also added that Prime Minister Modi is coming for a religious and cultural visit. While Minister Thapa was making announcements in a press meet organized in Janakpur, Indian Prime Minister Modi was busy holding discussions with the officials of Foreign Ministry at Singapore. Meanwhile, the Secretary of Ministry Shankar Das Bairagi said that the schedule could not be made public with confidence as of yet, as the issues regarding the visit were yet to be decided, despite preparations have been recently expedited in this regard. As with the existing trend, the schedule of state visit of Prime Ministers of neighboring countries is jointly made public by the foreign ministries of both the countries. However, going against the tradition, the Home Minister declaring the visiting schedule of a foreign government head without official announcement has been termed as the government's diplomatic immaturity. Prior to this, the Janakpur visit of Indian Premier in 2015 had been postponed in the last hour. Preparations are underway to make arrangements for a meeting between Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli and his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi during a special worship to be held in Janakpur's Janaki Temple. While the members of Federal Parliament are to receive budget to develop their electoral constituencies, chances have arisen of dispute between the elected officials and government at the local level. Local representatives have objected the lawmakers demanding budget in the pretext of development of the respective constituencies so as to spend the money as they please. Meanwhile, local representatives too have demanded separate budget to spend the development of their areas on their own. Nepal's constitution has allowed 22 autonomous rights to local levels that include basic and secondary education, basic health and sanitation, construction of local roads, rural roads and agricultural roads, drinking water, micro hydropower projects and alternative energy projects, among others. Apart from these, the local level have to collaborate with provinces and few others with the state. In the past, budget granted to lawmakers were mostly distributed in small development projects instead of local authorities getting to make use of it. Due to the very reason, the local representatives are discontent with the lawmakers taking funds in the name of developing their constituencies and spending them as they wish, which has proven to have hardly contributed for overall development. There are total 324 lawmakers at the House of Representatives along with 59 at the National Assembly. If the lawmakers are to receive budget to develop the electoral constituencies, it's obvious on the part of the local representatives as well to demand for the same, as they also have been elected from the local level. The federal, provincial and local levels are all autonomous. The main duty of the parliamentarians is to formulate policies rather than directly engage in development works. However, lawmakers attempting to be agents for development by demanding huge sum of money from state is against their constitutional duty and therefore has met nationwide criticisms. The government is undergoing preparation to determine the term of office of 59 National Assembly members through draw. As National Assembly is a permanent assembly, the tenures of the elected members will range from 2, 4 or 6 years. There is this practice of giving National Assembly a permanent status in a bid to prevent any power void in the parliamentary procedures at any time. In general, the maximum tenure of National Assembly member is 6 years. The tenure of all the first-time elected members, however, is not supposed to be ending at once. This is why the different terms in the office are determined based on draw. In order to keep intact the representation of provinces at the federal parliament, separate draws are to be held among the provincial members. The positions rendered vacant after end of tenures would be duly filled via subsequent elections. The tenures of chairmen and ministers in the National Assembly will also be determined via the same procedure. There are total 59 members in the National Assembly, 8 from each of the 7 provinces and 3 nominated by the President. The members of the Federal Parliament receive budget from the Parliament Development Fund. In this contest, we had asked the residents of Chapa, Butwal and Kantipur if the local levels too should receive the fund. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
नेपाल सरकारको अवधारणा अनुसार 3 तहको सरकार छ, बरु स्थानीय तहलाई बजेट व्यवस्थापन गरेर पारदर्शिता बनाइनु पर्छ।
कोष नभइकन त काम गर्न पनि सकिन्न हैन। हाम्रो ओडालाई अब भनौं प्रत्येक ओडालाई नै यो चाहिँ एउटा अधिकारको रूपमा चाहिँ कोष खडा गर्दियो भने हामीलाई चाहिँ नि काम गर्न सहज हुन्छ।
त्यो पैसाले विकसित नभएको ठाउँलाई यदि विकास गर्न सक्यो भने अझ राम्रो हुन्छ।
जनताको सेवा गर्न भनेर आएका हौं। हामीलाई पनि कोष चाहिन्छ, तर कोष एकल निर्णयबाट सञ्चालित हुने होइन कि यो वडा समिति कार्यालयको तर्फबाट सामूहिक निर्णयबाट चाहिँ सञ्चालित हुने कोष चाहिन्छ।
जनताका सम्पूर्ण समस्याहरूलाई देख्ने र बुझ्ने भएको हुनाले हामीले पनि पाउनुपर्छ।
जनताको सबैभन्दा नजिकबाट काम गर्ने अनि जनताको घरदैलोबाटै सेवा प्रदान गर्ने जुन स्थानीय सरकार छ, सबैभन्दा पहिला त यसलाई हो बजेटको व्यवस्था गरिनुपर्ने।
गुनासोहरू हामीले सुन्नुपर्छ, विकास क्रमका कुराहरू हामीले नि अब वडा चित्त बुझाउन पर्ने अवस्था हुनाले यो कोष हामीलाई आवश्यक देखिएको छ।
जनप्रतिनिधिहरूसँग पनि विकास निर्माणका धेरै कामहरू गरून् भन्ने अपेक्षाहरू छन्। ती सबै कारणले गर्दाखेरि विकास निर्माणको क्रमलाई हामीले अगाडि बढाउनको लागि पनि यो वडागत रूपमा पनि हामीलाई चाहिँ विकास निर्माणको लागि चाहिँ बजेटको व्यवस्थापन हुन जरुरी छ।
Now, the international update. The World Health Organization has said that the air pollution still kills 7 million people each year, almost all of them in poor countries in Asia and Africa, and that 9 out of 10 people on the planet breathe in polluted air following the release of its latest data on air pollution worldwide. According to the health institution, about a quarter of deaths from heart disease, stroke and lung cancer can be attributed to air pollution. These numbers have remained unchanged in the past years, with globally outdoor air pollution remaining high and largely unchanged, while indoor air pollution has got worse as people in many poorer countries continue to cook with solid fuel or kerosene instead of cleaner fuels such as gas and electricity. Women and children are the most at risk. Well, the World Health Organization's global assessment is based on satellite data and modeling overlaid on the database of more than 4,300 cities, an almost 50% increase in compared to WHO last report in 2016, and is self-selecting because it is based on voluntary reporting, with numbers that have been hugely revised since the previous report. The World Health Organization plans to organize in October the first conference on air pollution and help to speed up change at a global level. In order to better manage the increasing air traffic at the Kantipur International Airport, the only international airport in the country, the government has started its legwork to construct an alternative airport for domestic flights. A team from Civil Aviation Ministry yesterday visited Kabres, Nagidala and Tulichor, the areas recommended as appropriate location for construction of the airport as per a preliminary study. After the field visit, Minister Ravindra Adhikari has said that one of the 2 sites would be selected in 2 to 3 weeks' time, and the process to prepare comprehensive project report will commence. The areas are also nearby the Kathmandu's Tribhuvan International Airport and thus have been identified as an ideal place to construct an alternative airport in a bid to operate only domestic flights. The viability of constructing the airport, however, would be determined only after a thorough technical assessment. Now the sports update.
Sports news.
Reigning European champions Real Madrid moved into the third successive Champions League final as they edged out Bayern Munich in a thrilling semi-final second leg. Trailing 2-1 after the first leg in Germany, Bayern needed to win at the Bernabeu to reach the final, but it finished 2-2 as Real clinched a 4-3 aggregate victory. Joshua Kimmich scored early on for the German champions from 6 yards out before Karim Benzema headed in for Real from Marcelo's fine left-wing cross 8 minutes later. A second for Benzema after a horrendous mistake from Bayern goalkeeper Sven Ulreich put Real in control, although Bayern's on loan James Rodriguez then scored against his parent club to set up a dramatic finale. Bayern had chances to win it, but Corentin Tolisso and Thomas Müller's efforts were saved by Keylor Navas and Mats Hummels headed wide as the Spanish side held on. Real will face either Liverpool or Roma in the final in Kiev, Ukraine, on the 26th of May, with Jurgen Klopp's side leading 5-2 before Wednesday's second leg in Rome. Meanwhile, AS Roma underwent training yesterday ahead of the crucial return leg for the Champions League semi-final against Liverpool tonight. The Roma players were Forza seen on the training jerseys during the session, and solidarity with Liverpool fan Sean Cox, who is in hospital after being hurt in disturbances before the first leg at Anfield. The Italians trail 5-2 on aggregate, but will know nothing is impossible given their miraculous comeback in the previous round when they knocked out Barcelona after coming back from a 3-goal deficit to win on away goals. Coach Eusebio Di Francesco says he wants to see the same enthusiasm and desire in his players to repeat that performance. Di Francesco stressed the importance of scoring an early goal, adding that striker Edin Dzeko was a key player in the match as Liverpool's Mohamed Salah was in the first leg. Roma have not conceded a single goal at home in this year's Champions League campaign, and Di Francesco hopes they will continue that record. After suffering 2 straight defeats at the home ground, Royal Challengers Bangalore produced a fine all-round performance to record their third victory in the league and keep their hopes alive at the Chinnaswamy Stadium yesterday. The home side put in to bat first on a track which assisted the spinners posted a challenging score of 167 at the loss of 7 wickets before they restricted the Mumbai Indians to 153, losing 7 to register a 14-run win. Mumbai have just 2 wins from 8 matches and are at the bottom of the table with Glenn Maxwell and Dan Christian's Delhi Daredevils. Disputes have again arisen over the election of the All Nepal Football Association that had earlier been scheduled for the 5th of May. Mani Kumar, who is vying for the position of president, has accused the opposition of going against the statute by announcing the election date on the 5th of May. Organizing a press conference in the capital yesterday, Kumar, who is also the vice president of INFA, said that the date should have been announced at least 60 days prior to the election. As per the INFA statute, the meeting of the working committee should declare election dates. However, Kumar was of the opinion that the leadership of Karma, cheering Sherpa, threatened and mounted pressure on election committee to announce the election date. He further accused that the election that was scheduled for the 28th of March could not be held due to the camp affiliated with Karma cheering Sherpa. Meanwhile, the other candidate, Sherpa, is confident about holding the election on the 5th of May. The risk of INPA being suspended by FIFA looms large in case the association fails to hold election this time as well. AFC and FIFA have been repeatedly forcing INFA to hold election. The future of INFA, however, has currently been pushed towards uncertainty due to prevalence of personal interest within the association. And it's now time for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, why has the INFA elections repeatedly hit by controversies? And options are A, dominance of personal interest, B, politicization, and C, grift and corruption. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 8080 to share your opinion with us. And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur TV SD for more news and entertainment. Goodbye for now.